Bryan, it's Darrick from Legends. Yeah, I got some cool stuff in that I know you're gonna want to see. I'm not gonna spoil it for you because this is something you need to see in person. I think it's something we can talk about for your next show. Cool, I'll see you shortly, man.
My man,
Hey, what's up, Bryan?
I can't wait to see what you got for us.
I am glad you made it because you will be excited.
Let's get to it.
Check these out.
This is remarkable. Oh my goodness. And when you look at him, it seems like Batman is a little bit different.
Yeah, he's gone through a lot of changes over the years.
No kidding. Why is that?
You know, that's a good question. Why don't we talk about it?
Yeah, let's do that. Wow, another set of great books. And I love Batman. If you've seen some of my videos, I've had the Batman motif go on. But I don't know about the history of Batman. What can you tell me about him, Darrick?
So you want to know about... Well, why don't we start from the very beginning? Do you know who this is?
No. Who is this?
This is the original concept drawing for Batman.
No kidding.
Batman was created by two fellas by the name of Bob Kane and Bill Finger.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure you probably heard the name Bob Kane before because his name is all over everything Batman, and we'll talk about that a little later. But this was his vision of what Batman was supposed to look like when he first came out. What do you think?
Oh my goodness, this is not the Batman I know.
Right? Well,
yeah.
Well, thankfully, Bob Kane had a partner in the project and had a better vision because it was Bill Finger that came up with the design that everyone knows.
There's the Batman. All right. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is cool.
So that is Detective Comics number 27. Came out in May of 1939. That is the first appearance of Batman.
Nice. I love the fact that right from go, he's got the bad guy already wrangled up to just show how badass he is.
When he came out, he was a vigilante. He wasn't a crime fighter or definitely not a superhero per se. He was killing people from the very first issue.
Oh my goodness.
He punched a guy over a rail into a vat of acid, and he just said a fitting end for his kind. Like, he didn't think twice about killing that dude.
Damn.
Yeah, it was pretty violent back in the day.
Oh my goodness. Batman. Now, the concept, as I'm looking at it right now, I've noticed that he still doesn't look like the Batman that we know today.
Yeah, this is the early rendition of Batman. First time in print. They're still trying to figure things out. I mean, going back to our discussion the last episode, how Superman looks so different from his first appearance, and how he's transitioned over the years. So has Batman. We can focus on this era for a little bit. So with the beginnings of Batman, he was really a detective, a crime fighter, stopping average villains, hoodlums, criminals, criminal masterminds. But that got boring real quick, and sales started to slowly drop off, and DC wanted to figure out a way to boost sales, maybe target a different demographic, and that's where they introduced Robin, the Boy Wonder.
Robin, there he is.
That is his first appearance, Detective Comics number 38. So you can see now where they've got the big smiles, the ears have shortened on the costume, he doesn't look as menacing anymore, and it's a lot closer to the Batman that you probably recognize.
Yes, definitely. Interesting.
So they introduced Robin to target the younger readers, to get kids into reading the comic books, because they noticed that, like with Superman, they had a broad range of readers, kids to adults. Pre-Robin, it was mainly older readers picking up the books. The kids just couldn't relate to any of the characters or anything going on, because again, they weren't. He wasn't a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing different than, say, reading The Spirit or The Shadow. It was nothing new until they introduced Robin. And sales took off. Like crazy took off when they introduced Robin.
Why do you suspect that? Just because it was such a departure from the more serious, alone working Batman?
Likely that was it, again, because it was very similar to things that had come before. So now introducing Robin just changed the whole dynamic, and it was, something different and unique.
Right.
Did so well, in fact, that they decided to give Batman his own comic. Because these older comics, like Action Comics, Detective Comics, Action wasn't all Superman and Detective wasn't all Batman. It was a collection of short stories. So even in this book, Batman was only a small part of the story. There were other detective stories within the book.
Oh, I didn't know.
And because this did so well, came his first book on his own, Batman #1.
Wow. What year was this, more or less?
I probably should have looked that up. It's very early, still in the
Still fairly early then.
Very early.
Okay. Dare I say maybe the 50s? Putting that in at a golden age, perhaps?
It is golden age, but it's still in the 1940s.
Okay. So real golden age.
Yeah, this is pre-World War II.
Wow. What do you think the impact of this book was at that time?
This particular book?
Yes.
If you really analyze it, Detective 38 and this book really kicked off the Sidekick. Because after this, when they introduced Captain America, he had Bucky, the Human Torch had Toro, and so on.
That's right. Wow. Just wow.
Now, why a grown man would want to go around parading, putting a child in harm's way is beyond me, but hey, I guess it made for interesting reading.
No doubt. No doubt. But I tell you what, for being a sidekick, I thought Robin, he held his own.
Well, a lot of people say that Robin was the distraction or the focal target of the bad guy, while basically using it as bait. That's why he's got the bright costume versus Batman having the dark costume where he can hide in the shadows.
Interesting. Now, from what I'm learning right here, how this makes such a departure from what we saw in the 60s on the TV show.
Well, this led up into the 1960s. Because again, Batman used to be very dark, violent, and then they made it very lighthearted and almost comical. In fact, this book here is the first appearance of the Joker. And the early versions of the Joker, because they were targeting a younger audience, he was very comical and almost slapstick, where he's always laughing, smiling. He wasn't the mass murderer that we know of the Joker to be today.
Interesting. Yeah, because I remember you was pointing out to me before we started shooting how that he's not smiling. He's got that mean look. And then the second book you showed us, there he is with Robin coming out of some sort of bass drum, and Batman himself is smiling. And then you got this.
Yeah, even on the cover of this one, you can see they're They've almost got that loving look, smiling at each other going on right there.
Interesting. Yeah, keep going. What else do you have?
So the Batman 66 TV series went for 2 years and 3 seasons. And once that ended, a lot of the interest for the comic books dropped off. And again, the title was in trouble once again. What DC decided to do to change things up was to introduce a new creative team, which was the great Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil.
Oh, yes, that cover is so iconic. Wow.
So what they did was they took Batman almost back to his roots and made him dark and broody, and he's really the Batman that everybody loves today. You know, a lot of people say that it was Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns that made Batman dark, or Christopher Nolan and his movies made Batman dark. No, it was Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil. This is where all of that started from. Because now the Joker is menacing. He's out killing people because he likes it. He's not telling jokes and running away laughing from Batman like, ha ha ha, you can't catch me.
Right.
They introduced Ra's al Ghul, who is one of Batman's greatest villains.
Yes.
He revitalized Two-Face and brought back a lot of the older villains and made them a lot darker and sinister.
What age of comic book is this? We're getting into the...
These are the late 60s.
Okay. So the Silver Age.
Yes. Yeah, I might be a little biased, but I think Neil Adams is the greatest Batman artist. Hands down.
I have to agree with you. So where does it go from here? I mean, this is such good knowledge.
It really wasn't until 1986 that really brought Batman to the forefront again. And that was with the Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller.
Yes.
And I brought this one out of my own personal collection for you to take a look at.
Oh, that's a sexy looking book, sir.
Yes, it is.
Gotta get all the information here. And at a 9.4, hey. Just it's so iconic with the thunderclap and you see the shadow.
Oh, yeah.
Man. So I thought the story was really good in this.
Oh, absolutely.
The whole series, actually.
Yeah, it's a future story about Batman being long retired. The crime wave comes back to Gotham, and really the city needed a Batman. And that's what this book is about, him coming out of retirement to fight crime again. If you've never read this, I highly recommend it.
Where do we see Batman going, in your opinion?
Honestly, with the multiverse and everything else going on, there could be an unlimited amount of stories and directions that Batman could go. It all depends on who's out there that's creative enough that can come up with a good story to tell. I'm sure they're out there. You just need to find them.
One thing's for sure, the love for Batman is strong. All right, folks, before we go, I want to send out some love and shout outs to Darrick Oyama and the cats over there at Legends Comics and Games for this wonderful video. He was dropping some really deep knowledge. Unfortunately, we have to leave a lot out on the cutting room floor because of time constraints. Make sure you hit up our IG, our Facebook, and our YouTube video platforms to catch us. All right, peace.